But yeah, this is, I'm just painting there. Got a bit of blue down there in the middle.
Wow.
And yeah, this is basically a portrait. It's a portrait of a random face.
Yeah.
I'm
glad you didn't say it was my face.
Got it from
that
a
would be offensive.
very specific angle on it.
Do you want to zoom in on this real quick, on this masterpiece?
It's a masterpiece. It's my first one.
Tell me what this is here. Like, is that a nostril?
That is a nostril.
Okay, and this is like a corner of his forehead?
Yes, he has a little bit of a square head, just on top only.
Okay, and is he like looking straight ahead, or is he looking this way? Like, I can't really tell.
I don't know, he's kind of a bit cross-eyed in this one, but moving swiftly along anyway. This is Picasso's, one of his famous paintings. So
now that is art.
This is where I got my inspiration anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
You got your inspiration for Picasso and you ended with that?
Yeah, like...
See, like, this is true abstract painting.
Yeah, this is worth a couple of million, I'd say.
Yeah.
The original painting, at least. But this is worth a lot. No, this is a lot. The amount of hours I spent on this is worth at least €5. So, young people, you probably were wondering, why did I paint a silly picture? I don't know, but what I do know is that Picasso painting that we showed, that's worth a heck of a lot of money. Only because what, Chelsea?
Because of Picasso's signature. Actually, the one that you painted was also Picasso.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
You weren't supposed to know that.
Oh, well, I think a lot of them probably already know.
What I do know is Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 5 says, "Before I knitted you in your mother's womb, I knew you. Before you were even born," God says, "I set you apart. I've appointed you to be a prophet to the nations." This is God speaking to Jeremiah, but he's also speaking these same words over our lives. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I love the fact that God gives us an incredible value, just because his stamp is on us, his Holy Spirit is in us, and he commands us to walk in that truth as being sons and daughters of the living God. And a prophet is simply this, someone who's a representative of God. And that is exactly who we are. We are representatives of the living God, spreading the gospel.
That's right. And it's actually crazy because when you see a Picasso painting, like, you see that signature and you don't question the value. Because you're like, that's Picasso, I know that's worth millions, or at least a couple 100,000, because none of his paintings are cheap. But then we look at ourselves and we question whether we're valuable. And we forget God has stamped us. He created us. He formed us in our mother's womb. We are his children. And that stamp is way more valuable than a Picasso signature. And so isn't that crazy that we'll actually question our own value, but then we don't question the masterpiece and the artwork of Picasso? It's just amazing.
The Apostle Paul even talks about the Holy Spirit being God's stamp, God's seal on us. And to prove that we belong to him, to prove that we are indeed his sons and daughters, that we are indeed invaluable. God has put an incredible value on your life and my life. He bought us, purchased us with his precious blood. That verse in Matthew that talks about, God like looks after the birds, what they eat, what they will nest in. How much more will he look after you and me?
That's right,
because that's how valuable we are to God. So,
and it's just amazing because, like, in the verse after that, in Jeremiah, in verse 6, it's actually, you see that God is speaking this to Jeremiah because Jeremiah can't fathom how God's going to use him based on his age. So he's like, I'm too young, God. Like, what can you do through my life? And God's like, Jeremiah, it's not even about you. Not even you can take away the value that I've stamped on your life.
That's right.
So God is saying, let me do the work through you. I'm giving you the value. I'm the one who formed you in your mother's womb. I'm the one who created you. I'm the one who has dreams for you. And the reason why God doesn't allow other people to give us value is so they can't take it away. So when you understand that God is the one who stamps the value over your life and it's his signature on your life that makes you valuable, then it's hard for the world to be able to devalue you and say, Jordan, you were valuable yesterday because you were funny in class, but today, like, you didn't bring your game to class, so today you're not so valuable. Or yesterday you dressed better and today you don't, so not as valuable today.
That's true.
See, these verses and these reminders that God gives us allows us to realize that the world cannot take your value away.
That's right. 100%. I love that. I'm just so encouraged. Exactly. Just like God spoke light and there was light, God speaks these truths over our lives. He says, you are my son. You are my representative. I knitted you. I created you. And therefore you are. Yeah. You are what I say you are. That's right. What God says over our lives. And
we're
that's
his masterpiece.
Masterpiece it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we leave it there for today.